worked with several manufacturing units in the past, and there have been various cases where we have helped them improve their efficiency. But then I typically remember this particular feedback from one of my customers. Their feedback that after 6 months of proper implementation of the software that we delivered to them, they were able to improve their overall organizational task efficiency and the resource efficiency by over 40%.
In this video, we will be talking about how task management software work, its basics, and how it helps manufacturing units to achieve the right efficiency they are looking for. Today, let us talk about the productivity challenges and the workflow management issues which organizations are facing. Do you have an insight to give to us about the same?
Well, yes, definitely. I do agree that organizations do face challenges related to workflow management or maybe employee productivity or even related to the overall output of the organization. And these challenges these days are more because of the remote working models and various models that are there in the industry. And this is not restricted to a very specific IT industry or maybe any kind of thing. This is highly this is highly penetrated into the even the manufacturing industries and everywhere. So yes, I do agree that these type of challenges do exist in the industry these days.
Okay. So any software which we are using to help the same? Because what I know from my knowledge, and I have seen always people sitting with the registers and doing their task manually or
Yeah.
either on the Google spreadsheets.
Yeah.
That's what I know. Do you have a better version for that?
Well, to be very frank, even Google Sheets, maybe normal Excels do help managing tasks to a very great extent. The
Okay.
reason over here is that already these tools are very intensively created, and if used properly, up to a certain extent, definitely you can manage your tasks on Excels and Google Sheets. I don't have any reservations in using these tools. But then the point over here is that when it comes to more sophisticated reporting or maybe more like if you're more inclined towards securities and other reliabilities of the software, in that case the core concept of software comes into picture, where we have hardcore authorizations and everything in place. And these then can be done using any of the off the shelf services or softwares which are already there.
Okay.
Or maybe if your organization feels that these cannot be like fulfilled using your off the shelf services that you are looking for, in that case then there are various companies which also offer custom built solutions, and those custom built solutions are then curated based on your exact problem statement. So that's how I feel that yes, what your exact problem statement is, accordingly you can choose for the right solution, and then you can also hire right consultants. So it's not about that every company will will try to take projects from you. It's
Okay.
not in that sense. So you should be hiring at least a right consultant to understand that which particular type of solution is an ideal solution for your scenario, and then you can accordingly choose from it.
Okay. So what I have gathered from you, I could relate that there are few off-the-shelf solutions also and few which can be customized according to a client's need.
Exactly.
So how do you think these customized software really help when there are so many off-the-shelf options? Do you think one will go for the customized one? And if they do, what advantages do they get?
Okay, so I'll just break it into two different scenarios. There are pros and cons of both the type of solutions that are available. So let me just help you out with off-the-shelf solutions, because most of the first-time users will try to look for it on the various platforms, that which type of software they can use, and then they will definitely want to create a freemium account on that, and would at least try to see whether their organizations are adapting to such type of softwares or not, because then there are various legacy companies and organizations who are using Excels and Google Sheets over years now. And to make that shift happen, that they are inclining at least towards a software, be it an off the shelf or a custom, that is the first step over here. Now when it comes to when you should be opting for a off the shelf solution, it is when you have a more standard SOP that every industry is working on. Because any tool that will be created as a SaaS or as a PaaS, in that case, the only thing that comes into picture is that that is created as a global solution.
Okay.
And be it your company is in India or your company is in US or in UK, then the operation mode is almost the same. In that case, I believe that yes, if you want to track your systems rightly, in that case you can go for an off the shelf solution. But then my personal experience says that no single manufacturing unit works in the same direction.
True.
Everyone works with their own set of rules, and based on how they want their output to be, how they want their resource to perform. So in that case, these type of off the shelf solutions will not help. In that case, definitely you have to come up with a data flow where you know that okay, this is how I want my industry to work, or I want my company to work.
Okay.
And accordingly then custom built solutions will come into picture. And
Okay.
that's where you get more flexibility. So talking about the cons over here, so if it is an off the shelf solution, in that case there is not major flexibility in terms of that okay, I just don't want this module to work like this, I want to work it in another way.
Okay.
That might not be an option. I'm not saying that there will never be an option, but that might not be an option. But at the same time, when it's a custom thing, you are already brainstorming it to that extent where you know that okay, things will work how I want them to work. Cons of a custom software, cons of a custom software is obviously they are not very pocket friendly first.
Okay.
Second, another thing is you might end up doing certain mistakes of SOP. So when I say that an industry standard procedure should be there, now because you are just replicating what you are doing always, what you are trying to do is you're trying to replicate your Google Sheets into a software when you're doing a custom software. So at this point again, as I mentioned earlier, an IT consultant will help you understand whether this is actually good for the industry optimization also.
Okay.
That is again something which needs to be taken care of, and that's the reason why you need a right IT consultant in place compared to a direct, a guy who can directly go and code on certain things.
Okay.
So that is, and this is again depending on the size of your organization, like how sensitive your management needs to be. So that again depends over there. But I feel that yes, manufacturing industry do require this level of process driven things because they have more masses to cater, and then they cannot work with errors because their product once hit the market is impacting a major audience in the market. So that is what my thought is.
Okay. So as far as I have heard and what I have gathered all together, I have understood one thing very clearly, that especially manufacturing organizations, because they work on a large scale also, and they have a lot of different departments to work. So this task management software is definitely needed there. But most of them still are doing it through the traditional methods and the of the shelf methods. But this can really help them. So do we have any insight from where we can relate it, or a case study where you can tell me how the work has been streamlined through the management software?
Yes, I can gather a couple of examples over here. Like we have worked with several manufacturing units in the past, and there have been various cases where we have helped them improve their efficiency or any kind of other streamlining their processes, doing a certain kind of automations and all those stuff. But then I typically remember this particular feedback from one of my customers, and they are into big, like they are huge when it comes to their manufacturing scale, and they are majorly into high pressure pumps and all these kind of manufacturing. So they purely mentioned and shared their feedback that after 6 months of proper implementation of the software that we delivered to them, they were able to improve their overall organizational task efficiency and the resource efficiency by over 40%. And I believe if you are
That's a big number.
able to achieve that type of productivity within 6 months of time, I'm damn sure that they will be able to do it at a very better pace when it comes to more implementations. And yes, definitely we are further modifying also for them, because this is an ever growing process. So it's not just limited to that once we delivered that solution and that solution delivered a certain output, and then we cannot come up with further better things. Now, obviously, there are various gaps, and we are working on those gaps to further improve what they are trying to achieve in their organization.
Okay.
So, yeah, this is something which I believe I would
That
want to
was
go.
lovely. I gathered a lot of knowledge today.
Thank you.
So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.